Guys, we talked about, oh God, the weather is very hot. We talked about so far four advantages for college dairy. The first one is the level playing field. Number two is the guilty free for using the AI tools. That actually, the main value is to meet and beat application deadline. Very crowded, very narrow. So we do that through the machine, automatically generated the draft, and then for you to review. Of course, you still have the final say before you submit it. And then, so those are the the four things that. Let's talk about the number five. The reason I've been doing this so far is delayed and delayed and delayed for the launch is that I've been struggling with myself and asking myself, debating with myself, actually more directly debating using the AI tool to debate myself. Why is that? Why would somebody want to switch to the college dairy or underneath the ACOBA model? And then one of the reasons, the next reason, number five, is actually a better recommendations or better references. So far, we've been talking about, like this time, today actually, before I started making this video, is that I checked with the different AI platform. I entered my way of doing that and then the current way of doing that. And then I always get a confirmation back from the different, at least two AI platform. They all say that your way, your platform actually solved a long existing problems. The current system of writing letters of recommendations or being the reference attached to the resume is that there are several issues. Number one is subjective. Okay, it's heavily judgmental based. Okay, and then number two is generic. Okay, they describe the general impression of that person. Number three is inflated. The thing is that you ask me to write a letter of recommendation. Oh, that's an honor. Let me do that. Obviously, you only want to see the positive. See, you want to other people see the positive use, right? So let me do that. It's just like giving you a higher grade in the letter of recommendation. I'm gonna inflate a little bit. But those three big problems, and number four, you can also say that it's hard to compare from one applicant to another. So those are the three or four, mainly the three, subjective, generic, and then inflated data solved by our system. You know why? Because in our system, achievement is not just some like a generic statement, right? Instead, we break down the achievement into event, into stories with a very specific time, locations, occasions, context, everything. And then that's actually that's a better job to allow the verifier. The verifier they're fundamentally different from the references or letter of recommendations. Why? Because they only need technically they only need to confirm the existence of the event, right? The first that your achievers still make describe the achievement, right? Usually coming up as an event or as a story. And then the verifiers, their job is much easier. Number one, they are limited to that particular event, particular story. Instead of a subjective, generic, inflated, there's no need for to inflation. But also the opposite side is also true. You don't have to worry about some verifier to hold some negative impression of against me. they may have a stereotype against me or against the girl or against the, some people from immigrant generations or against the people, the first generation of a college student. All this kind of thing. Why? Because they're not, excuse me, they're not asked to describe the integrity, the personality, the moral values. They just uh, they just tell us that what is the event. So that's the I'm sorry. So that's actually reduced the liability. Technically, verifier doesn't have to leave their name and the phone number. They have to sign it, to make sure that's real. And also, to begin with, our platform will only will only use the professional verifier, meaning that the people with the titles, teachers, mentors, coaches, and counselors, principals, But to be honest, we will see how it goes because peer review, peer verify provide a unique, in my opinion, peer verifier provide a unique perspective that the professional verifier may or may not provide. So that's why in the future we may expand it. After all, because we are only asking them to verify one particular event. So instead of saying, "Oh, Sarah is a good leader and she has achieved a lot," we break it down into pieces. So instead of giving a big pie, a whole pie, we break that into pieces. And then in the end, when many pieces are coming together, then we have a whole pie. So that's more reliable. So instead of saying Sarah is a good leader, she achieved something nobody has ever achieved. So that's objective is generic. But if you say the verification verifier says that I was the supervisor when Sarah hold the seminar for AI, teaching AI, and then she actually helped three of them seminar attendant to make some difference. So those kind of much limited liability. You know, as long as they sign this verification, they don't have to leave that their name and the phone numbers because why? Number one, they are professional. Number two, they are only responsible. If you want to call him or her later, asking that they may say, our way the way now is that, we don't leave ask them to leave that phone numbers or contact information for the outsiders because that's confidential information. But even if somebody somehow reached them, they will say, "Oh, I don't remember that. That's just there years ago." But look at my statement. That's all I have to say. I don't have nothing to add. So that's a very legitimate answer. So those kind of things. That says that the specific particular objective verification is better than the reference models. The next one. Let's do that next time.